In our last video, we cut and crowned this Remington 7600 down to 18.5 inches, or traditional carbine length. In this video, we're going to go ahead and reinstall the front sight. We're going to set this up in our milling machine in a V-block on the front of the barrel, making sure that we have aluminum or brass shim between the set Allen screw on the V-block and the barrel so we don't scratch it up. We're just going to lightly tighten up that set screw so we can still move the rifle around enough to make sure it's square with the bed. That will ensure that the sight will be top dead center on the gun. Once it's in position, we'll tighten up the Allen screw the rest of the way. Not over tightening it, but snug enough that it won't move while we drill the barrel. I then put a shim under the rear of the rifle just to make sure it doesn't have too much down pressure on the barrel from the weight of the rifle. Now we'll use a center finder in the drill chuck to make sure the drill bit is top dead center of the barrel. Both edges are now indicated on my digital readout, and I split the dimensions using the software and move the bit over to the center. We always start our holes using a center drill to make sure the drill bit doesn't walk. It's especially important on a round surface. I make sure I double check all the dimensions for where this sight's supposed to fit. It's awful hard to take a hole back out of a barrel once you put it in. Don't need to drill in very far with the center drill, just far enough to make sure that your drill bit isn't going to walk. This front sight uses 648 screws, so we're going to use a number 31 drill bit to drill for the tap. We'll put a little drop of Drill oil on there for lubrication, and then I zero out the drill bit onto the barrel. I have a DRO on my quill, which makes it easy to make sure we don't exceed the depth that we need to go. I find that the less you move the quill, the better off you are. So I put the tap right into my drill chuck and I tap it by hand before I move the bit to the next hole. Again, I set my quill to 0 and I tap till I get to about 100,000 steep. And then I use just hand pressure to make sure we don't snap the tap off. It doesn't take much pressure to tap these out. Now we're gonna set up for our next hole by measuring the distance from our front sight, and then we're going to repeat the process. Now that all the holes are drilled and tapped, we're gonna move the bed over and ream the top of the holes to remove any burrs. The holes are now all cleaned and reamed, and we're going to give our sight a test fit. And everything looks good. I didn't catch it on video, but the last step is to clean the holes out with denatured alcohol and put a little cold bluing in there. I like to use Brownell's Oxford Blue, as I have in other projects. Hey Rosie, looks like you found a new spot to lay.